Guess who was on The View, ladies and gentlemen? Hillary was on The View. Here we go.
Let's get into 2020, because that's where the action is.
The whole crowd, they're still, It sounds like you guys are watching a fireworks show.
Right now, every day it changes. You're watching it from the sidelines,
right.
though. How is that emotionally for you? How do you do that?
Well, look, I am obviously watching it because I care deeply that Trump is a one-term president.
Notice what she doesn't care deeply about. She doesn't care deeply about the American people. She doesn't care deeply about health care. She doesn't care deeply about ending the wars. She doesn't care deeply about getting clean water to Flint. She cares about that guy who beat her, making sure he doesn't fucking win again. That's what she cares deeply about.
She doesn't care that Ghislaine Maxwell, 2 years after she settled out of court with two women that accused her of raping and trafficking them, was invited to her daughter's wedding. She doesn't seem to care about that at all. That's kind of weird that got left out of the View talk.
Look at Graham with his little facts. I didn't know that. Did anybody else here know that? I didn't know that. Oh, well, they know it. They know it.
You watch Political Vigilante, you know that fucking shit.
How am I the dumbest one here again? Again. All right. So
you learned that from Russian bot.
Or less. But it's hard to believe, but it's still early. You know, a lot of the people who were ahead at this point in prior nominating seasons did not end up winning the nomination. So it's hard to tell right now. I just wish everybody well. I've talked to most of them, and a lot of them call me from time to time and ask for advice.
Asking advice for Hillary Clinton on an election is like asking Donald Trump how to start a business. Am I right? Come on.
I never noticed how small her hands were before.
Yeah. I can't even see them. That's how small they are. Wow. The only way Hillary Clinton's advice is valuable is if you do the exact opposite of what she tells you to do. Well, I would tell you don't go to Michigan for sure. I would tie, but do you have a private position and a public position? No, well, you should get one of those. All right.
She keeps telling Joe Biden to hug more women.
Bigger sniff, Joe. Lean in. I love your hair.
I appreciate you calling me for advice. I guess Claire McCaskill was busy. Well, here it comes.
Oh, shit. This is going to get really horrible right now because they're all going to... Watch this. Man.
And I just try...
This is how you know there's only one party in America. It's coming up here.
Give them the very best advice I can, because it's really important to have a group of strong messengers about the alternative. But I think it's a really good point, Abby, because you got the election going on, you've got the impeachment going on. The Democrats have to do two things at once. They have to do the impeachment in a thoughtful, deliberative, serious way.
Yes.
And they have to do a campaign that talks about why it would be better for Americans when it comes to health care or climate change or whatever the issue might be.
You know, that whatever, health care, issues, whatever the thought. But they have to do that first thing first. They have to impeach him. And then whatever, issues, whatever.
So that's a difficult balancing act, but it has to be done. And I know everybody's trying the best they know to actually get that done.
Well, you're sitting at a table in good company. Megan, myself, we've all lost presidential campaigns. My family didn't get nearly as far as yours did, but we all sat there the next day thinking, coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Oh.
Right? And I know that you've probably had many mornings where you wake up,
Right.
and this book is all about being gutsy as women. And
Right.
part of being gutsy is looking back and realizing what I could have done differently.
Right.
When you look back on your campaign and what Democrats today might do differently, what goes through your mind? What do you wish you had done differently in that moment?
Well, first of all, apparently Abby didn't read her book, because if she did, she would know she didn't do anything wrong. It wasn't Hillary's fault. It was everybody else. It was WikiLeaks, Julian Assange, the media, Bernie Sanders, right? Russia.
Susan Sarandon.
Jill Stein.
Who else prevented her from winning? Because we all know Putin. Jill Stein. Putin and Jill Stein and Julian Assange were arm in arm blocking her motorcade from campaigning in Wisconsin and Michigan. That's a fact. Look it up.
I wrote a whole book about it because it was devastating. It was devastating, as it was, I know, for the McCain family and
I think
your
there was
family.
more vodka involved in our election night.
Well, there was vodka involved every time I traveled with your dad, I'll tell you that.
On Epstein's plane. She wrote on it twice. He was on it 26 times. Only said it was 4.
Grab with his facts again.
I know, flight logs, fucking Russia.
You know, when Hillary and McCain did shots of vodka, did they do did they do shots for every country the United States is bombing at the same time?
That's a fun drinking game.
The Sudan.
Happens on the road, stays on
They
the
used
road.
to say that you were a black.
What happens on the road stays. She feels the same way about her Wall Street speeches, by the way.
And he loved traveling with you, and he
My
loved
dad said the same
drinking
thing
with
about you, actually. He
So,
said he loved
I want to hear these.
I got all the.
They all love traveling with Hillary Clinton, John McCain's dad, Abby Huntsman. They all loved. Isn't it amazing? 3 conservatives sitting around reminiscing about how the other conservatives like to be with another conservative.
But I think that goes partly to Abby's question. I'm a serious person, but I'm also a fun person. But I think
There's no one less fun on earth.
Hillary Clinton says she's a fun person. That makes me laugh.
She's like Bill Maher. She's just a hoot.
Yes.
cross as too serious and too. I really believed that.
She came across as that's her problem. That's her answer to that question, by the way, that she came across too serious. Yeah, looking back on Hillary was a little too serious. That's a regret, not rigging the primary and giving us Trump. Should have had more punchlines in those speeches. That was the problem.
Well, if you look at her fun side, when she laughed when Gaddafi got murdered, she's all giggling.
Single payer will never come to pass.
I gotta be honest. She was a little too serious. The only time I remember her making a big joke was, her campaign. Our next live Jimmy Dore show is November 5th in Buffalo, New York, November 17th in Philadelphia, and December 27th in Honolulu. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a link for all of our live shows and become a patron or a Jimmy Dore Show member at jimmydorecomedy.com/join and support the show. We give you hours of bonus content every week. Thanks for your support.